Today we're going to talk about drum brakes, a 120-year-old technology that has been used on everything from 60s muscle cars to pickup trucks and even all the way down to the mighty Toyota Prius. Today's example is going to be a little bit more of the latter, as we have a 2004 Scion XB behind us that I've already set up on a jack stand. But what do they do? Why do they have all of these springs and all these adjustments, and why not disc? Well, we're going to try to answer some of those questions today by showing you some examples on this particular vehicle. We're going to take it apart and we're going to show you what each of these little components do. So now, one thing that'll definitely help when doing anything on drum brakes is when you got the drum removed, use your cell phone right here and take pictures of everything that you can see, everything that you're going to touch. So that way you know how it goes back together. Or your other option is take the wheel off on that side of the car and leave the other side alone until you're finished with this one. So step one is going to be removing the drum. Now that might require you to use a hammer like this by tapping on these areas right here to break the drum free. You might have a northern car that will have a little bit of rust build up on this lip. Or in the case of a Toyota product, you can take an 8 by 1.25 bolt and thread them into these holes that are already in the drum and you can either screw the bolt all the way in or use it to help you pull the drum off. We'll go ahead and set this aside. Okay, now this is going to be more for educational purposes. I don't really need to change the brake shoes on this. As you can see, I have a new one right here, and you can compare that to the thickness on this one. And yeah, these are a little thicker, but not by much. So I got these for when I need them. Just brought those out for today to show you guys. You only really need a set of side cutters like this. These are from Harbor Freight. A locating tool. This spring tool right here goes for your hold down springs here and here. That's very, very handy. And a flathead screwdriver. And there's just not much else you need. Now, where I like to start is getting these hold down springs off. Now, on the back of it here, you might be able to see, I can't tell from here, there is a pin that holds this in, and you can see these are slotted a specific way. So what you want to do is grab the pin on the back of the drum, push in with the tool, turn it 90 degrees, and that guy will pop right off right there. Okay, we'll go ahead and get our pin out of the way, and that's what that guy looks like. We're going to repeat the same thing over here. Now, on this application, there's a top spring and there's a bottom spring here. The wheel cylinder uses hydraulic pressure from the brake master cylinder to push the shoes out in this direction, and the pivot point or the fulcrum is right down here at the bottom of the drum. Now you'll notice on this particular application, this little guy right here, and that holds on your parking brake arm. We'll get to that here in a minute. We're gonna go ahead and start with the top spring. I just like to grab it, hold on to the shoe, pull it all the way off, and sometimes some pieces fall. We're gonna go ahead and take your front shoe out here. Now the front shoe has this little adjuster lever on it. Now this is very, very crucial to your parking brake mechanism and your brake adjustment overall. We'll go ahead and get this guy out right here. And this is what your top adjuster looks like. Notice how, in this particular case, these are slotted a different way, and it is very crucial that they go in the correct way. And your little star wheel here, your adjustment, this is what keeps it from just running all over the place whenever it wants to. Oh, and it is a bit messy, unfortunately. Now, a lot of the times with the parking brake shoe, the parking brake lever, I should say, it's fairly easy to take this off right here by the bottom of the spring, but you're better off just pulling the clip off right here with a little screwdriver. Alrighty, had to get another camera mount here, sorry about that. And unfortunately I am out of brake clean, so all this dust back here on the backing plate, I'm not going to be able to do much about that. You can tell I came prepared for class today. But right here on the wheel cylinder, that's what pushes on your brake shoe to push the brake out. And here's that fulcrum point, if I can get the camera to show it, right down there that the bottom of the shoe rides on. And everything focuses around the adjustment mechanism here, which is what determines the distance of your brake shoes as they're in the drum. So we'll go ahead and get our drum over here. We'll go ahead and throw these in here, show you how they work. And that adjuster will sit right in the middle right there, and will determine the distance of the brake shoes to the face of the drum. You don't want them too tight, you don't want them too loose. The rule that I was taught was when the drum's on the vehicle, you want to go ahead and get about a revolution before the wheel stops, and you're good to go there on the adjustment. So put these aside here. All right. Now this is your parking brake cable, comes from up front, and it picks up on this lever right here that has a pin that's held on by that little clevis right there that you can just pop off with a screwdriver fairly easily. You would take a screwdriver, come in here, bend these, pop that out if you want to change your brake shoe. Going back together is pretty much the opposite of reverse, but since I do have some brake paste, I am going to show you one important crucial step. These little bosses right here, you just want a little bit right here, right there. See, that's what the brake shoe rides on. And you just want to be very, very conservative with this, because all the brake dust will pick this up, unfortunately. And you probably should have cleaned it as well with brake clean, but unfortunately, I don't have any, because I came prepared today. Alrighty. Now, we're going to put this together a little differently, because what I said earlier, unfortunately, was not true. We're going to start with this rear brake shoe. We're going to take our pin right here. You see it's slotted. We're going to insert that into the backing plate hole in the back of the backing plate. And if you're left-handed or right-handed, it just depends. We're going to put the spring on. We're going to make sure this little clevis here faces the slot. Hold this guy with one hand. Get your tool. And send it home. Yeah, just like that after 5 minutes. Fortunately, it happens sometimes. We're going to take this little bottom spring right here, hook this guy right like that. Now, if you were replacing these shoes, you would reuse this adjuster stop and this spring here on a new shoe. I can show you on a factory Toyota shoe, it has the pin built into it. Aftermarket ones may or may not. You'd have to check. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to find our pin, put that guy through the hole. We're going to hook this guy on the bottom. Bring him up like that. Stick the pin right back through the shoe. Put your little hold down spring on. Again, make sure the slot faces the direction. Of the pin, And these are kind of fiddly, unfortunately. As you can see, this little guy is 2 pieces. You could use vice grips for this step if you wanted to, but I had the tool, so I went and grabbed it because why not? There we go. Just like that. We can go ahead and spread our shoe apart here just a skosh. We're going to go ahead and put our parking brake self-adjuster back in. Now, this slot's in a certain way, and I do believe on this, the long slots go that way. So we're going to get this guy back in here, just like that. Go ahead and attach your top spring in this corner. Now, this is the fun part, because when you pull your brakes together, this adjuster stop back here is going to want to hit the star wheel. So you kind of need 3 hands to do this, because you need to push that guy out of the way and come back in here with your tools. Come back in here with your pliers. Yep, see, it's hitting right there. So that's why you need to push this guy out of the way. Done. That's in there, that's nice and tight. And that's when you would, if you need to adjust the drum, there's a slot back here with a rubber plug in it that you can use a smaller screwdriver with, or what I would do is use a larger screwdriver on the star wheel here. And I already know the adjustment on this is good, so we're going to put the drum back on. And as you see, it spins approximately 1 revolution before it stops. That's how you know your brakes are adjusted properly. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this quick little tutorial on drum brakes. It was my pleasure doing it. My name is Adam, and this is my channel.